We can do it like this all day, hey, don't stop. Inhibitions run away, hey, don't stop. Let a bug hit windshield, scrape those off. My team running up big hills. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Slaaap Haaapy. My name is Sav, aka Savilian, aka the champ, and thanks for tuning in. Got a little special one coming at you today. I recently embarked, for those of you who don't know, on a fight journey. I had my first ever fight. It was in boxing. It was part of Tribute's. Tribute is a boxing gym in Melbourne. It was part of Tribute's Fight Night 8. I fought a fellow named Nick, and he ended up winning. But this is a little bit about my kind of thought process after having a few days now to kind of, process it all and kind of go through all the thoughts and feelings about the whole journey. This is my little breakdown of kind of what I thought pre, during, and now after. So yeah, sit back and relax. Hopefully I don't take too much of your time as I kind of break this all down. But yeah, these are just some of my thoughts and insights into Fight Night 8 and my whole journey to my first ever fight. Let's go. So a little bit of the backstory and motivation. A good friend of mine won a competition for a free 1-month trial at Tribute Boxing Gym. At the time, I was only training at a regular gym, and I was always keen to get back into some martial arts training, whether that was Muay Thai or kickboxing or boxing or whatever. A friend won a 1-month free trial. She gave it to me. I went and trialed at this gym. I really enjoyed it, got to meet everyone, seemed like a really cool place. And then one of the trainers basically said, hey, do you want to have a crack at this thing? We've got a fight night. We host it every year kind of thing. And, just gave me the spiel. My initial thoughts, this is dead set the truth. My initial thoughts after going to the information night was, okay, I heard two things, right? One, you get to walk out however you want, okay? You get to do your own walkout, and you can make it as grand and spectacular as you want, right? And two, there's going to be a lot of people there, a captive audience, okay? So all eyes on me, and I get to walk out however I want, entertain, Allah. As a performer, right, that's a fucking dream come true. I'm like, hell yeah, baby, sign me up. You're telling me that I get to rap that's basically what I heard. I get to rap in front of 2,000 people? All right, shit. Because your boy ain't pulling 2,000 people to a show. Let's put it that way. So if I get to rap in front of 2,000 people, that is an opportunity for me to convert 2,000 people into fans, right? Not all 2,000, obviously, but some of them potentially. Okay. So that's what I initially thought. I get to rap. And I remember I called Ruku and 30 straight away, my boys. I was like, hey, we're going to do this thing. We're going to perform. We're going to write a song. I'm going to get beaten up a little bit, right? But so be it. It's going to be a journey, hell of a process, and we get to fucking, do our thing, which is, it's what I do. I'm a performer. This is who I am. So that was kind of the main thought process around it. Like, hey, we get to do this thing. Anyway, that was the initial kind of seed. Eventually, I started to see this as the training started. I begun to see this as an opportunity to put myself in places where pain exists. And as a result, given an opportunity to strengthen my will. Because you've got to think about this, right? And this is only a thing that I'm really starting to delve into recently. When pain comes at you in life, you have two options. You can take it on and go, this is an opportunity to make myself better. Or you can cower from it. You can run from it. Now, in my life, I have been a person when pain has been projected towards me, either hurled at me by, random occurrences or brought into my life by myself and some of my poor decision making, right? In those circumstances, I've generally been a person who's cowered from the pain, right? Either distracted myself or just avoided it flat out, okay? Drinking, gambling, sex, fucking, diving into stupid shit, emotionally just kind of being absent, whatever, finding any excuse possible to avoid the pain, not deal with the pain. What I've realized is every time that pain is thrown at me, it's an opportunity to learn. And every single time I was given this opportunity to learn, but avoided it. Now, I went through a breakup recently. I've had my life kind of rattled around a bit. And this fight journey started to, make itself obvious as an opportunity for me to take on pain and to learn from the pain, right? So I started to embrace that. I started to look at this whole thing as like, all right, what can this teach me? How can this make me better? How can this push me to places I've never been before? How can I redefine some of the neural pathways in my brain that have been used to taking the easy route? How can I make myself harder and tougher and more vigilant and more patient and more resilient? All that stuff, right? So I started to think about it like that. I also saw this as an opportunity to reestablish my discipline, okay, which had totally lacked over the COVID period. Alcoholism definitely plagued me over the last couple of years. Again, running from my pain, running from my problems. And I also kind of saw this as an opportunity because I'd always appreciated boxing. I'd always loved the art of boxing. My uncle Timmy, rest in peace. He loved boxing. He was a boxing fanatic. He used to kind of hit a heavy bag all the time, and I was so impressed by him, and I obviously looked up to him. And I've always just loved the art of boxing, and I thought, maybe this is my opportunity to kind of, learn some good footwork and cardio and potentially become somewhat of a boxer. So that's kind of like the motivation and the backstory. The second thing I'm going to talk about is approach. So early on, I want to give a quick shout out to one of my teammates. His name is Lynchy. Lynchy competed in the last fight night. And one of the things he said to me early on was, the motivation for him coming back to fight a second time was, one, I think he lost and he didn't want, he wanted to get that dub back. And two, he wanted to push himself, make sure that he didn't leave anything out there, because I think he felt that he didn't push himself hard enough the first time around. And so he kind of shared that insight with me, and I was very grateful because I saw that as an opportunity to kind of get some inside information, right? Someone who's been through this journey, similar build to me, kind of similar weight class, similar guy, just a knockabout dude who wanted to have a crack, and he shared this insight with me, and I thought, okay, he's sharing this with me, I need to take this on board. So I set out rearranging everything to make sure that I did not get to the end of this journey and had any regrets. So I made sure I took everything as seriously as I could from as early as I could. And that meant a bunch of things. It meant no alcohol. I cut out alcohol straight away. I didn't have alcohol the entire time we were on fight camp. All right, no big deal, I know, but for me, who was kind of drinking every night, who, turned to alcohol quite frequently to kind of, avoid pain, cutting out the alcohol was tough. Actually, no, it wasn't tough. Once I set my mind to it, I signed a contract with my brother, actually. I stuck it up on my wall, and I looked at the contract every day. I'll put it here if I can. I signed a contract with my brother. I looked at it every single day. It's stuck up on my wall right there. And it basically said, you will not consume alcohol for this entire fight camp. And I did that. That was easy. Hard but easy. You know what I mean? Things are hard until you decide that you really need to do it, because it's so important to you that the pain of not doing it is less than the pain of not doing it is less than the pain of actually continuing on the path that you're on. So yeah, once I kind of crossed that threshold, it was easy to cut it out. Getting rid of distractions, which meant deleting dating apps and basically cutting off communication with anyone basically outside of my very, very, very core group, which is basically just my brothers who I live with and the people who are in my fight camp. So for the last 8 weeks, I haven't really had friends. I haven't been to see anyone. I haven't I've really just cut out all distractions. I haven't been to shows really, no social events, no gatherings, nothing like that. It's just been train, eat, sleep, work, maybe spend some time with my brothers making music, whatever. But that was pretty much it for the entirety of the camp. Cut down on work to make sure that I have enough time to train and recover and do all that good stuff. And then I started training multiple times a day and putting a real big focus on recovery and stretching and making sure that I was physically ready to get in the ring. So the fight camp itself, what did that look like? It was 8 weeks of kind of training with our 2 coaches, Jelly and Sam, who I'll talk about in a second. It was 2 times a week on a Tuesday and Thursday evening where we did technical training where Sam and Jelly would take us through, different types of like parry defense, different types of combos, different ways of controlling hands, manipulating your opponent's weight and distance inside the ring, defensive techniques, real basic stuff. We weren't doing any crazy combos. We weren't like, trying to be Floyd Mayweather out there, like dodging punches. It was just very simple hand defense, simple counters off the jab, stuff like that. It was really simple. And we drilled the same stuff like over and over and over again because those fundamentals, which I was missing, a lot of the people were missing, just really key to winning fights, especially these kinds of amateur fights. So yeah, drilling the basics over and over and over again. And then on Saturdays, we would do hard sparring. So hard sparring was something that I'd never done before. Actually hitting a person like, kind of as hard as you can and having them try to hit you as hard as they can. Something I'd never experienced before. And yeah, it was a bit of a shock to the system. Let me tell you that, but I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. So that was kind of the fight camp, structure. And then on top of that, you fill in the space with all your other bits and pieces. I did a technical class. I did a boxing technical class every other day. And then I would go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week as well. I was coming from a very low base fitness wise though. So I have really had to like, level up as far as all that was concerned. Okay, that's it for the fight camp. In terms of mentality, so the very first week of hard sparring, I was up against my boy Lynchy, and it was so funny. Like the way that it happened was just so, coincidental and strange. We were doing like light sparring on the outside of the ring, like around the ring, dancing, lead hand sparring, shoulder taps, stuff like that. I was doing that with Lynchy. So it was very playful. You throw a little combo, you kind of let them know, hey, I would have got you there. Hey, I would have got you there. Da-da-da. Anyway, I go from doing that with Lynchy on the outside of the ring to hard sparring on the inside of the ring in front of the coaches, in front of everyone. I had never done hard sparring before. So it's just mentally, it's such a different place you got to get to. And I didn't get there. I went from light sparring with Lynchy to hard sparring with Lynchy. He flicked the switch on. He'd done it before. He was ready. He flicked the switch on. I didn't flick the switch on. I forgot to fucking turn that motherfucker on. We got in the ring and he just starts like unwinding on me. He's like fucking dropping bombs. And I'm like, I didn't really know what to do. Like, I'm like, oh shit, are we still touching each other? Like, what's going on, homie? Anyway, he ends up like Coach Jelly's just like, Sav, you got to fucking, throw a punch. Anyway, she pulls me aside. Come on, Sav, you got to like let some punches go. Like, that's the whole point of this shit. Anyway, I still struggled to do it. And then, we kind of ended with Lynchy kind of like clipping me on the side of the head, just dropped me, like didn't knock me out, but like definitely flattened me. And yeah, I was a bit, a bit spacey. So Jelly pulled me out and it was a bit of a wake up call. It was like, wow, like it was hectic. I went home after that. My confidence was just rocked. I was like, is this for me? Have I signed up for the wrong thing? Like, I'm not a fucking violent guy. I'm not a fighter. Like, this is not in my personality. It's not in my DNA. Like, I did not think after that first week of hard sparring, I really struggled. I called my little brother Dave and I said, man, like, I'm really struggling with this. Like, give me some words of wisdom. Luckily, Dave always has words of wisdom. He's a smart motherfucker. He gave me some great advice. And, from there, I was able to like turn it around. And it took that punch. It took that punch from Lynchy for me to kind of start to like take this seriously. Not like I didn't take it seriously, but like I had a certain expectation about what it was going to look like. And this punch from Lynchy woke me up to the reality of what I was doing. Like, this is a guy trying to punch a shit out of me while I'm trying to punch a shit out of him. And it is going to hurt and it is going to suck. But what else are you going to do? Are you going to run? Are you going to, do you want to be somewhere else? Like, you got to make a decision to step in there and actually step in there. And it took that punch from Lynchy
for me to realize that. And then I came back the very next week, sparred Lynchy again. And even though my jaw took an absolute beating, I was still standing at the end of the, couple of rounds, and I managed to get him a couple of times and shake him a bit. So in the space of a week, I did transform like my mindset from being like a victim to someone who was like willing to come there and compete and challenge. And that was not easy. That was not easy to change that in me, like victim mentality. Everything happens to me, to like, oh no, I'm here to fucking fight, and this is my time. And I'm gonna make it count. Like, yeah, that was tricky, but I did it. On mentality as well, I kept finding ways to push myself through pain and exhaustion. There were so many times, so many sessions, so many moments, every single session, pretty much every single week, tired, exhausted, in pain, sore. And I remember Sam said real early on, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're tired. It matters that you showed up and pushed yourself through it. Those are the sessions that are going to count. And that I remembered that. So every single time I felt like shit, I got up and I said, do you know what? I'm happy to be here. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be in this moment. I'm glad to be pushing myself. And I fucking found a way. And every single time I did that, because they say extremities push capacity. So every single time I pushed myself to that moment and slightly beyond, I increased my capacity to do that thing, which is to like push myself. So every single time I'm doing that, I'm pushing myself to be a person who pushes himself. So yeah, that was cool. And my confidence grew. Like, I started growing in confidence as a person as well. Like, this is a beautiful thing about martial arts is, once you physically get in a shape and you see a skill like this developing, I don't know, like, it brings a certain self of confidence, not because of the, not just because of the violence aspect, but because like mentally it just like clears out so much space. You're unleashing this like, healthy kind of like violent energy, and you're learning a skill and you're building yourself physically. There's all these components of it that are just so beautiful that like, you can't help but grow in confidence as you do more of it. So that was the other thing, confidence. Yeah. So mentality obviously like was huge. The whole thing, like the physical aspect was massive. A massive component, but the mental aspect of this whole journey is so understated and something that I spent so much time on. I was journaling every day. I was visualizing every day. I was spending time with my thoughts every single day. Okay, do you want this, Matt? Do you want this, Matt? Do you want this more than him? Do you want to fucking walk out of this ring on fight night feeling like you had pushed yourself and that you'd shown up and that you planted your flag on the ground and said, "Hey, I'm here to be respected." Like, are you going to let that happen, or are you just going to fucking, let it fluff? Let this moment pass you by. Let this moment, like every other moment, pass you by. No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm going to stand. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow. I'm going to fight. I'm going to persevere. So yeah, the mental aspect of this whole thing was just like so understated, but so beautiful, so challenging, Anyway, getting onto my team. White team, baby. A black team as well, because shout out you guys, because you all push yourself through some bullshit. So to make it into the ring, we all had our things. That was a beautiful kind of thing about this whole experience, and something that Jack Jenkins reminded me of when he was giving his talk is like there has to be a certain level of empathy, because we're all pushing ourselves to extremes. We're all getting outside of our comfort zones, and we're all really testing ourselves, and that needs to be applauded. Respect the person across from you for doing what it took to get in there. But also, I'm going to fucking take your head off, or at least I'm going to try to. We're both going to try to hurt each other. But I respect you for pushing yourself to get in here with me. And, same thing for my team, Team White. The camaraderie and the culture was so genuine and tangible. We all pushed each other. There was a genuine sense of like, we want to be better together. And, we did that. We all got better together, and it was so lovely. We all pushed each other. We rode the highs and the lows. And I honestly couldn't have asked for anything more than what I get to share with that team and the experience that we had together. Something I will never, ever, ever, ever forget. Team White, baby, let's go. We didn't win the night, by the way. We lost by one fight, I believe. But fuck me, it was so Oh, so good, so good. My coaches, Sam, Jelly, both, I'm pretty sure professional fighters, or if not professional fighters, on the cusp of being professional fighters. Either way, mentally and physically, they train, act, carry themselves like professional fighters. Wealth of knowledge and fight expertise. These guys have just been doing it for so long. They know so much about the sport. They have their own angles and their own expertise to share. And boy, were they amazing. They were so great. Every step of the way, they were true professionals. But they were able to laugh and enjoy the process with us. They made us feel like one of them, you know, even though, you know, I kind of, you know, I put fighters on a pedestal, not going to lie, because I just respect them so much. But they made me feel like one of them. And that felt really cool. That felt like I was included, and it felt like, you know, it's great for my confidence. And they really cared about our success and growth as fighters and as people. Like, they wanted to see us push ourselves to unlock new levels of ourselves. So yeah, they were there every step of the way. You know, the work they put in on the actual night, like, it was hectic, you know, for both sets of coaches. You know, you're back and forward. You're getting people to pick themselves up. You're getting people to push themselves. You're coaching from the side during the actual fight. You know, the highs and the lows, watching your friends get knocked out, watching your friends lose fights, watching your friends get hurt. Like, there was a lot that, you know, you have to balance. I mean, obviously they're used to it. They've done this before, but it's still, you know, they're still human. But yeah, honestly, can't thank them enough for the entire process and journey. God, I'm talking a lot. The night overall, right? Spectacular. Tribute should be applauded. They put on a hell of a night. The Melbourne Pavilion was set up perfectly. My friends and family flew down. My mum and dad were there, my little sister, my brothers, my best friends from Sydney. I had a bunch of other friends and cousins and stuff like that from Melbourne show up. I had people there who cared about me, and that was so rewarding to have them there ringside. You know, I got to watch them as I walked to the ring. I got to see them all. They all had massive smiles, and I couldn't have asked for much more as far as that was concerned. It was pretty much perfect. It was perfect. I had people tune into the stream, and, you know, support me from online, which is amazing. I got plenty of well wishes and you know, messages of encouragement before and after the fight, which was really cool. Yeah, Tribute put on an absolute spectacle of a night. The pavilion looked great. The performances were great. The fights were great. There was some absolute cracker fights. To the Boxing Association or the Combat Sports Association, they had a real focus on safety, and it was evident. And I really love that. You know, for the most part, I think everyone walked out of there being able to go back to work on Monday. All of my friends were just super impressed by everything. They were really happy with everything. And yeah, honestly, couldn't have asked for much more than that in terms of the actual night itself. All right, now to get to the like meat and veg, the taters, the fight itself. Before that, I'll talk about my walkout. So me and Ruku, the plan, as I mentioned in the beginning, that was some of the earlier motivation to walk out rapping, right? We settled on Tainted because 30 would be in, was overseas, so 30 couldn't do it with us. Me and Ruku were going to do it. We settled on Tainted as it come out recently, and it'd sort of be a really nice moment to kind of just do that song. Perform it out on the way out to the ring. We settled on Tainted. Now, the plan was to rock Itch Pig hoodies, rep some Itch Pig on the way out to the ring, you know, look dope, rap in the song, and then take the hoodie off, put the gloves on, jump into the ring and fight. That was the plan leading up to the day. We got to, like, check this out, right? Just visualize this. I walk out rapping with a hoodie on, okay? I take the hoodie off, I put the mic down, I put my gloves on, and then I go to war with my boy Gucci. How cool would that have been? That was how I visualized it. That's how I wanted it to happen. It didn't happen like that for a few reasons. One, we had to tape our gloves up with the red tape and the blue tape just before we walked out. So I had to have my gloves on. then I was like, fuck, I might as well have my headgear on. I might as well like get ready. I also noticed like how fast things were moving. People weren't being able to give speeches because I think we had to open a bit later. And as a result, I knew that we were behind time, and I knew that like, they wouldn't have time for me to fuck around putting my gloves on and, all that shit. So I was like, look, and on top of that, I saw how serious the fights were. Like people were taking it seriously. People like once a bell rung, like it's a fight, you're punching on. So I wanted to like give it my best. So I decided, kind of like, a couple of fights before mine, I decided, all right, I said to Ruku, you rap, you just rap. I'll dance on the way out with you, but you perform. And then, I'll just focus on getting ready to go in there and do my fight. So it wasn't, exactly how I anticipated it. But it was still kind of cool. Like I got to dance. We ended up doing we got a little bit sturdy in the corner near mum and dad and my family and that. Look, I wouldn't change it. It was really good. I was able to focus on the fight. I got in there. I felt myself as a performer. I got to be myself. I swagged out. I got in there. I had a good fight. So yeah, I wouldn't change it. It was a hell of a time and a moment I'll never forget. Onto the fight itself. It was a fucking great biff, and after rewatching it a couple of times, which I've done now, it was a lot closer than I thought. Like I thought he just beat the shit out of me, and I fucking missed him the whole time. That's what I thought after the fight. But after rewatching it, I think I punched him more. Like I got more punches in. But his punches were more effective. Every time he got me, he fucking got me. He's a big boy and he can hit. So every time he got me, he really got me. And I kept on leaving my left hand down. Like, I kept on giving him a free chin. I kept on going like, here, Gooch, see this? That's yours, baby. It's got your name on it. And he took it. He took it once, a couple of times in each round, and I got a standing 8 count in each round. Finally losing by TKO with a couple of seconds left in the third round. Yeah, great fight. Honestly, couldn't have asked for much more. We kept swinging to the end. Like the last exchange is insane. Like if you see on the replay, like I fucking whack him with like, not long left on the clock, and you see him kind of shake and he's stunned, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I start unloading like a combo thinking like this is my chance to win. And while I'm like unloading, he manages to fucking get this like overhand hooking kind of right. And it just like gets me on the side of the cheek, and I'm like just done at that point. I'm totally gassed. I go down. I try to get up. Ref waves it off. But it was just it was so intense. It was so fun. And like knowing what I was thinking at the time and remembering his face, and then seeing the replay and just knowing what we were both thinking, like it was gnarly. Yeah, great fight. Thank you, Gooch. Thanks for giving it a crack, mate. You looked in great form, and you looked better than you thought you did as well. It was so funny. I said to him after the fight, we had a bit of a catch up, and my brother comes up to him, and he's like, "Oh, do you remember anything like about your training once you got in there, kind of thing? Do you remember like what your coaches said?" And he was like, "Nah, mate. As soon as we got in there, it bloody turned into a bar fight," which I thought as well, like we both got in there, just forgot our training and just started swinging for the hills. But after rewatching it, it wasn't that bad. It was like obviously not great, but as far as like boxing, technique goes, and but it was still a decent fight. The post-fight calm down. This is not something that anyone kind of touched on or I thought about before this, but it's real, man. Like I've been experiencing it the last couple of days. I'm sure a lot of the other fighters are experiencing it too. You have this like 2-month build up, so intense, so focused on this like outcome, this date, this 6 minutes that you have to share with another person, trying to take each other's heads off. And then nothing. Obviously, you can get back to fighting if you're a fighter. You go back to work and stuff like that. But it's a huge build up. It's a huge build up mentally, emotionally, physically, and then done. So look, I am sore and tired, and I'm not sure how much training I should be doing, even though I have been every day since Monday, and I'm loving it, loving being back, but I'm not sure like what the right kind of balance is at the moment. I do feel a little discombobulated, and I'm and I feel like I need to find another kind of thing to aim at. So like, with the fight training, we had a date, like the 25th of November, you're going to fight a guy. Okay. Everything is aimed at that. How can I get better? How can I get ready for that? I need to find that next thing. So I give myself a couple more days to just really settle down and really kind of go through it all. But I'll come up with that shortly, I'm sure. The euphoria is starting to wear off after a couple of days. And, I'm starting to realize that, life is still happening and I need to be on top of that. So there is a few different emotions kind of whirling around. Not sure where it all sits at the moment, but there is definitely something to say for being aware of the post-fight come down. And just being aware of how you feel. Like, am I just going to take some time? Am I going to get straight back into it? Like, if I'm a fighter, I can just get back straight into training, learn what I need to learn, recover, and then get straight back into training. But I'm not a fighter. I'm like a guy who just had a fight. So I need to I rode the wave of emotions that came with the fight, but now I'm like, all right, what's next? Anyway, just some thoughts. Speaking of thoughts, these are my final thoughts. So I feel like I turned a massive corner in my mindset. And the way that I love to exemplify this is with this little kind of analogy. Before this fight, I was a person who, if you told me to do 10 push-ups and I got to 8, I would be like, pretty close. I can rest now, right? Now, I am a person that if I get to 10, I say, I want to do 2 more, okay? I was a person who looked for the easy way out. I was a person who ran away from the pain. I was a person who sought comfort. Now, I am a person who looks for that pain. Now, I am a person who wants to be put in the deep end because I know what potential growth lie waiting for me there. And that is something that I may have discovered if not for this fight camp, but it definitely fast-tracked that realization. So that's one thing. Turn a corner in my mindset. I exceeded my expectations of what I thought I was capable of and gained a lot of respect and trust for myself. As I've stated a couple of times, a lot of self-confidence issues, a lot of doubt. I pushed myself beyond those. I pushed myself beyond pain. And I turned myself into someone that I have respect for, which is such a beautiful thing to say, and honestly would take that if nothing else. I got fit and decent at boxing and was able to gain, raise my self-confidence levels. As I just stated, yeah, I got fit. I feel fit. I'm the fittest I've ever been by a long way. Am I good at boxing? Probably not yet, but I'm better. I can throw a jab. I can kind of move around a bag. I wasn't able to do that 2 months ago. Standing in front of a heavy bag, I kind of feel confident that I'm trying to train something and get better. Whereas like 2 months ago, I had no idea. I made a bunch of friends and formed bonds that I'll never forget. Everybody in Team White, my coaches, everybody at the gym, at Gucci, everybody that was there that got to experience this journey with me, I will never, ever, ever forget the bonds that we formed and the experience that we had, which I can't speak highly enough of. I was able to be a part of a dope night of entertainment and a really cool spectacle. The whole event, the whole build up, everything about it was just done so expertly by Tribute. And I was really happy and proud to be a part of this whole thing. It's obviously great for me because I'm a content man, so it's been great for my content. It gives me a lot of things to think about and talk about and read about and research about and speak on and do podcasts about. So, as far as like an experience and an investment in myself and in my future self, I couldn't ask for much more. So pretty much perfect from start to finish. And so grateful and thankful for everybody that was a part of it. So anyway, that's my little kind of bit on Fight Night 8 and my experience as in my first fight. Hopefully you glean something from that. And if you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to drop them below or reach out to me either on Instagram or Twitter, wherever you want to find me, Savilian, @Savilian. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you next week on Slaaap Haaapy.
We can do it like this all day, hey, don't stop. Inhibitions run away, hey, don't stop. Let a bug hit windshield, scrape those off. My team running up big hills, they won't stop.